welcome, welcome to. Excuse me. Then what do you do? How should my old husband get it hot for me? But it's not her fault. Your husband went for her. She tempted him. And if she did not agree, there would not be any relationship. Okay. Welcome to Los Angeles. Let me tell you what I know a little bit about Los Angeles. Los Angeles is not far from. Okay, Los Angeles is in the California area, and it's not far from Hollywood. It's not far from Los Angeles is in the California area. It's not far from Hollywood. It's it's not far from. It's a city in California. It's not far from Beverly Hills. It's not far from Santa Monica. The matter of fact is right around LAX. I don't know LAX area, around the LAX airport area. That entire area is Los Angeles. California is the entire place, the entire state. Now you got different places there, like San Andreas, San Bernardino, San Francisco. Those are different states. But California, I mean Los Angeles is right around the LAX airport area. Okay, California. So welcome to welcome to Los Angeles. Los Angeles. Yes. Welcome to Los Angeles. Somebody. This is my mansion. My welcome to my mansion here in Los Angeles. This is one of my mansion here in Los Angeles. So we'll be taking you around. Let me show you the outside of Los Angeles. Hmm. San Bernardino. Hmm. Good job. That means good job. This means peace. Okay, so I do be playing publishing clearinghouse game on my phone. That's why I'm playing, watching movies. Okay, so Los Angeles, California. Hey. Okay. Uh, okay. So Los Angeles is a different. It's a city all by itself in California. They have their own city. I think the entire state is called California, but they have different cities. They have Beverly City, Santa Monica City, Santa Barbara City, and now Los Angeles City. And right now we are in Los Angeles. Los Angeles is located in California, capital city. Los Angeles, California. Not far from Hollywood. Hollywood is a couple of Beverly Hills. Hollywood is a couple of drive away. Hollywood is a couple of drive away, about 1 or 2 hour drive away from Los Angeles. Hollywood is not far from Los Angeles. They have a lot of mansions. I think they got a lot of mansions there in Los Angeles. A lot of mansions. Is where Kobe Bryant came from. Los Angeles Lakers. The Los Angeles Lakers. Kobe Bryant. Uh, they also called it LA. LA. Okay, so we're gonna take a break. And we'll be back.
2020 Corolla for $179 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
Okay.
Lime or Bird, where you can rent an electric scooter and explore the city this way. Number 8. Lines are everywhere. Since Los Angeles is usually a crowded place, you can expect lines not only on the road but also at the restaurants and all major attractions. Number 7. Food. Food in Los Angeles is not the cheapest, but it is known for its quality and diversity. If you visit Grand Central Market in downtown LA, you can experience fresh food from all over the world, all in one place. An average meal at an inexpensive restaurant costs approximately $14, and a mid-range, three-course meal for two costs about $55. You can find less expensive options with a little research on Yelp or TripAdvisor. Check the description for links to ideas for best cheap eats. Number 6. for tourists coming from outside the US. If you're not from the United States, and especially if you're arriving directly to Los Angeles, there are a couple of things to know. Tipping. You should always tip in bars and restaurants in the United States, and therefore Los Angeles. The normal rate is between 15 and 20% pre-tax for restaurants, $1 to $2 per drink for bartenders, or 15 to 20% off the bar tab. You should know that servers in the US are usually paid minimum wage or less and rely heavily on tips. Power plugs. There's a chance you will need a special US power adapter to charge your phone and other devices. This is what the US power plug looks like. We recommend purchasing a power adapter before traveling to Los Angeles. In fact, it's worth buying the adapter for the entire world so you can use it in other countries too. Number 5. Drinking water. Despite the public perception that tap water is not fit for drinking, the Los Angeles Department of Water ensures that their tap water is as clean as bottled water. It might not taste as good as bottled water, but it may save you some money. Number 4. Discounts and coupons. There are many things you can do in Los Angeles, from shows, stand-ups to sport events, whale watching, and many more. It is worth searching on Groupon, Living Social, and other similar coupon sites for money-saving deals. Check the description for links. Number 3. Save on attractions. Some of the famous attractions in Los Angeles are very expensive. For example, a daily ticket to the
City of Los Angeles. So that's a little bit about Los Angeles, California. Los Angeles, you have a lot of places in Los Angeles. That's a little bit about Los Angeles. So that's Los Angeles City. Los Angeles. Okay, so that's Los Angeles City. Even though they don't show much. So they got the Los Angeles Lakers. Star Hollywood in Los Angeles. Absolutely nothing. Yo. Yeah, that do you be that well? Stop. Also, Hollywood in Los Angeles. Okay. So then it look like Hollywood is in Los Angeles. So I don't know a different city. That's the shuttle bus, the tour bus, that they carry you around Los Angeles, Lakers, downtown. There's some stuff. Yeah, definitely here. Definitely here is not far from Los Angeles. Definitely city. Those are stores. There's how to call the street. Sometimes people area. Yeah, it's like Buffy, Los Angeles, Hollywood. So this is Los Angeles. Santa Monica. Santa Monica is one of the cities in California and Los Angeles, United States. It's a different city. It's not far from Santa Barbara. Behind this building right here, they have a lot of hotels. But behind that building, they have the fire station. There goes the fire truck. That's the fire station right. Los Angeles police got the LAPD. Los Angeles tour bus boarded with Star Alliance. Los Angeles is so big. Los Angeles is I don't know where they are right now. Santa Barbara, Santa Monica, So that's the city of Los Angeles. The tour buses just showing around the area. There's my family right there. Let me see how long this took. Right now you're around Boulevard. Then we go to the studios, the Hollywood Studios, Los Angeles. Okay, another building time. That's the city there. Okay. So see Los Angeles City. So that's the Los Angeles City tour. You tour the Los Angeles City, and you see the mansions. See the Los Angeles mansions. So that's Los Angeles. So that's Los Angeles. Now let's see. Los Angeles. So some of the places in Los Angeles, Bel Air Mansion, Los Angeles, Greenwood Hills, Los Angeles. Uh, those are the few places.
With the same cabinetry to really come up with that seamless look. So your countertop continues here. Your backsplash is a marble design, and of course, brass pot filler. That's right. I'm going to shift the focus back to the island because we have the first sink right here, second one, smaller one over there, two dishwashers.
Right now you are live in Los
Here
Angeles.
on this side, we have the top bureau, fridge, and freezer. There you go. Looks like an action right here as well.
Ready to close the deal, right?
Let's do it. We have more built-in appliances on this side. Your roof coffee maker. Come on, who doesn't want one of these, right? But overall, really beautiful kitchen. And here's another detail I want to mention. This project was also designed by A&R Signature Collection. And as we're walking this property, I'm catching all these little details that I see at their projects. So I can see the A&R influence.
Get more for your kitchen now. Brothers made big kitchen upgrade sale. We want you to absolutely love your new kitchen, so you'll get big savings on the latest incredible products from GE and our risk-free 30-day price and satisfaction guarantee. We want you to be 100% satisfied every time. That's
If you can't live the life of a rich kid in Beverly Hills, what's the next best thing? Living vicariously through those who do, of course. And thanks to E's reality TV show, we got to do just that. But what happened when the cameras stopped rolling? Keep watching as we reveal how one castmate used her newfound fame to raise awareness of a cause close to her heart. Before we get into it, if you're new around here, click that subscribe button to see more videos like this. Leave us an original comment down below and we will be giving out a $50 Amazon gift card. Now, follow along as we take a glimpse inside the lives of the rich kids of Beverly Hills. There are so many movies and TV shows that give us a taste of what life is like for the wealthy in Beverly Hills, but thanks to the E! Network's reality show The Rich Kids of Beverly Hills, we get to see what life is really like for these privileged young things. Ever since it started airing in 2014, fans have been gripped by the lives of its stars. The appeal makes total sense. After all, if we can't actually live like that, the next best thing is to do it vicariously through those who actually do. It's like 90210 made real, and the show's castmates are just as fascinating as those fictional predecessors. Rather than being inspired by that TV show, however, Rich Kids was inspired by the Tumblr Rich Kids of Instagram. The account's purpose says it all in its strapline. They have more money than you do, and this is what they do. If you want to see how the top 1% lives, this is where you'll find the goods. Of course, they're flaunting their diamonds, champagne, supercars, and yachts, but the reality show took us beyond the images and into their walking, talking existences. If you want to go even further into reality, then you'll want to watch this video right to the end, as we're going to give you an all-access look inside their lives when the cameras stop rolling. If you want to know where it all started, just ask Dorothy Wang. The producers of the show found Dorothy through that Tumblr and reached out to the heiress. They wanted to know if she would consider starring in a reality show. Her response was hilarious. Dorothy dished to Business Insider that she already felt like she'd been living a reality show for the last 7 years of her life, so she was pleased that TV cameras would finally capture all of those moments instead of her just posing in thin air for herself. Once Dorothy was on board, the casting directors wanted to bring in her outgoing friends too, and that's when Morgan Stewart got involved. The girls always knew they were destined to be on TV. It was just a case of waiting for the powers that be to get the message too. These two stars were so integral to the show that it was called the Morgan and Dorothy Project in the early days. So the producers gave the hard work to the BFFs and asked them to bring in their friends to round out the cast. If you're imagining a line of supercars parked around the block with rich kids all waiting for their turn to audition, then think again. There was no open call. Along with Dorothy and Morgan, there was Morgan's beau, Brendan Fitzpatrick, basketball legend Magic Johnson's son EJ, songwriter Johnny Drubal, and the self-styled Persian princess, interior designer Roxy Solity, making up the original cast of 6. You probably assume the cameras start rolling and the cast simply go about their daily lives, but the reality is much different. Morgan revealed to AOL that it was a shock when they started filming. She admitted that she didn't realize how much work was going into it, so much so that she was so exhausted that first week she felt as if she couldn't even function. In fact, throughout the whole first season, Morgan was so sick because she never had to work so hard on something and just didn't have the stamina. It's kind of ironic that it takes a reality TV show to finally make a rich kid learn the meaning of a day's work, right? They shoot all day long and the pressure's on to stay looking fresh. There's also a whole load of footage that never gets used, with 2-hour conversations that boil down to 2 minutes worth of footage. With these kinds of reality shows, there's often rumors that they're actually scripted and set up, but Morgan insists that's not the case with theirs. She considers it like a documentary, and it sure does have a fast turnaround, like when they shot the scenes from Morgan and Brendan's wedding on May 7th, 2016. They aired on TV just a week and a half later. For Morgan, the experience has been positive. She's had lots of nice encounters with her fan base, but that's not the case for everyone on the show. For Dorothy, it's been a harder path. She's had to get used to hateful comments online. In fact, it got so bad that she spent the first 2 weeks before and after the first episode aired basically crying and having anxiety attacks because it was all so new to her. However, she saw a shift in the public's perspective.
Celebrate Ashley Home Store's 75th anniversary with the ultimate sale. We're throwing the ultimate party so you can save up to 55% off dozens of doorbusters throughout the store, including living rooms, bedrooms, and more. Then get the ultimate party favor. Take an additional 10% off our sale prices, plus 3 years financing with no interest charges. Plus, save big on sleep with the very best mattress deals on the best brands. Ultimate deals, ultimate selection, ultimate style. Only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Monaco is definitely one of the most luxurious places to live. It's so expensive, most people will only be there temporarily to vacation, and then it's back to reality. But if you're insanely wealthy, Monaco is a playground for the richest kids in the independent city-state. Cities like Monte Carlo are just another stop on the French Riviera with yacht-filled harbors, expensive casinos, and access to the finest shopping in the world. Oh, how the other half lives. As you dream about the finer things in life, make your online video watching all the greater by subscribing to The Richest. All you need to do is click on that red subscribe button and give this video a big thumbs up. While you're here, be sure to leave us some love in the comment section. You might even get a shout out from The Richest in a future video. Monaco is a place where the wealthy have their own playground and tourists can feel like they're visiting their own little slice of heaven. In a world where the French Riviera is a permanent home to the glamorous life of car racing, yachts, and abundant shopping, some truly wealthy people can call Monaco home. Monte Carlo is one of the most popular destinations within Monaco, and it doesn't disappoint. You have to have some serious money in order to live there, and these wealthy families are living their best life. But it's one thing to be an adult. When you're a kid, teenager, or young adult with little responsibility and endless access to mom and dad's money, the world is your oyster. These rich kids will never know what it's like to live within a strict budget, let alone eating cheap food. Let's take a look at the lives of these rich kids who call Monaco home, and let's see how they are even living better lives than some royal families. If you had an unlimited amount of money and you wanted to get the latest in fashion, there's only one place to go besides Paris. Monaco is considered to be the luxury capital of the world, and companies from all over know this. Some of the most high-end brands have set up shop in Monaco, particularly in an area called Saint-Victor. There are not only countless stores of luxurious brands like Dior, Louis Vuitton, and Givenchy, but there are also street merchants who are making an amazing living selling goods as well. These rich
There's a fucking girl driving purple vents. Oh shit. This lady stopped in the middle of the road taking pictures of fucking Gucci stuff. That's like, you guys fucking arguing with people. That's worth it for her.
was a doozy for celebrities. Between the hookups, breakups, scandals, and just plain weirdness, we're leaving this decade with tons to talk about. Happy holidays, you guys! It's Susan Morad here with Clever News, and we thought we'd get ready for the new year by counting down the top 10 most shocking moments of 2019. And let me tell you, this was a tough list to make. So many celebrity moments that happened this year really made our eyes widen. Are you ready to take a walk down memory lane? Let's kick it off with a scandal that actually happened pretty recently. We were shocked to discover that one of our beloved Hollywood couples could be on the rocks when Justin Timberlake was caught holding hands with his Karma co-star Alicia Wainwright during a drunken night in New Orleans. Both parties denied any affair, and Justin issued an apology to his wife of 7 years, Jessica Biel. He started by saying he likes to stay away from gossip as much as he can and that he should have known better. He also wrote on Instagram, "This is not the example I want to set for my son." Speaking of gossip,
most expensive things owned by.
Well, I'm about to go out, so I'm dressed. I just came home to
tour. That's when the real money starts pouring in. And Drake, well, he said it himself talking to GQ. Rappers aren't really the rich ones. Come on, my girl. I'm gonna live round. I'm gonna shake it out. I'm gonna rock it out. And for tonight.
Holy moly, we wish we had the kind of money that these people do. And guess what? This list is only talking about rich people under 25. And by rich people under 25, I mean rich celebrities. Duh! We're coming at you on Listed. To be clear, this list here is highlighting 13 of the richest celebs under 25. Coming in at number 13, we have pop princess Ariana Grande, who is only 22 years old. This girl has made $12 million already, which seems to make sense. We fell in love with her on Nickelodeon's Victorious, and she even got a spin-off show called Sam and Cat. But now, what really seems to matter is the beautiful, blissful pop music that she has created, which is really where she has made that money. Demi Lovato hits this list at number 12. The pop star is only 23 years old and has a whopping $15 million sitting in her bank. Demi's been bringing in the dough starting back on Barney and Friends when she first graced our television screens, and then made all kinds of money on Disney's hit show Sunny with a Chance. Later, the actress evolved into the pop sensation that we all know and love. Number 11 goes to our girl Selena Gomez. She is 23, just like her rekindled bestie Demi Lovato, but has $1 million more sitting in her bank account. Selena has a net worth of just over $16 million and also got her start on Barney and Friends. She then moved into her starring role on the breakout hit The Wizards of Waverly Place on the Disney Channel and has headlined some pretty epic movies. But right now, her moneymaker seems to be her music, with her new album Revival set to soon be released, not to mention her endorsement deals with both Adidas and Kmart. Nick Jonas is coming in hot at number 10, and I just want to point out that this dynamic threesome of Disney stars are all really seeming to make all the right moves. Nick is also 23, but has made over $18 million. The singer has made some major waves as a member of the hugely popular band The Jonas Brothers, but then turned into a mega solo pop star and is making all kinds of bank, mainly from his earnings as a musician. Taylor Lautner is at number 9 on the rich list. Dude is rolling in the money, pretty much thanks to the franchise we all know and love. Of course, I'm talking about Twilight. He's only 23 and has made over 40 million. Although he does work quite frequently, his bank account is pretty much made from Twilight, seeing that he racked in more money with these films than most actors see in a lifetime. Hashtag goals. Coming in at number 8, one of Taylor Swift's mini besties, we're talking about Ed Sheeran. This dude has vocals for days. Ed is only 24 years old, and homie is looking at 57 mil in his earnings as a singing sensation, thanks in large part to his most recent album, Multiply. In at number 7, we have the major hottie from The Hunger Games, actress Jennifer Lawrence, who's 25 years old and has an estimated net worth of over 50 million. We're going to say that this number is in large part thanks to her leading role in the franchise movie. But, however, the girl is working on multiple films as of late, and we're not saying she isn't paid handsomely for those as well. Next, we're taking a look at Emma Watson, who is known as Hermione Granger in the Harry Potter films. Emma is 25 years old and ranks at number 6 on this list, working with a cool $60 million net worth. Hello! Although most of her money comes from Harry Potter, she has also got a ton of films in the works that will probably make this number jump pretty quickly. Not to mention, she's one of the most successful young actresses and advocates in the world. And at number 5, we have Twilight star Kristen Stewart, who is 25 years old and has made over $70 million. Kristen has topped the Forbes highest paid actress list in the past and continues to slay life, booking movies left and right. She also starred in Snow White and the Huntsman, as well as the recent American Ultra. Watch out, because this girl is coming for you. Number 4 goes to the boys of One Direction. The British-Irish boy band made up of Louis, Harry, Liam, Niall, and formerly Zayn have ages ranging from 21 to 23 and have racked up over $150 million in their time as singing sensations. To be honest, though, I thought among 5 of them, it might have been a higher number. I mean, not that 150 million is bad or anything, but there are 5 of them. Well, okay, now 4. Anyways, getting down to the final 3, we have Miley Cyrus, who's 23, and you, of course, know from Disney's breakout hit, Hannah Montana. Miley is now taking over the world with her one-of-a-kind personality, while looking at a total earnings of over $165 million. But you know what I really love about Miley? You know, she knows that she has a ton of money, but she goes and does things like release free albums for the world. I mean, her Bangers tour alone earned over $70 million, so there's that. Anyways, next up at number 2, we have, well, can you guess it? Okay, no, I'm going to tell you anyways. It's Justin Bieber. Homie is an internet sensation, and not only that, he went on to pretty much take over the world. Justin is 21 and has made a whopping $200 million, and I don't even know how to process thinking about having that kind of money, but he for sure has it. Coming in at number 1 on our list of the highest paid celebrities under 25 is none other than Miss Taylor Swift. But really, would you guess any different? The pop star is at the end of this age bracket being 25, but girl is killing it. Like, if you look up success in the dictionary, I'm almost positive you will now see Taylor's face. Not only does she have numerous #1 albums, but her most recent 1989 is really making headlines with too many hits to count, a massive world tour, and pretty much the best music videos you will ever see in your life. Taylor has made over $240 million in her lifetime, and knowing that, I'm basically rethinking every decision I've ever made in my life. But for real, what are all of you guys thinking about this list? Anyone you thought would be here but somehow had that kind of money? You guys, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and then click right over here to see 26 of the best moments in Taylor's rise to fame. Hey guys, I'm Ryland Adams. Thanks for hanging, and I'll see you soon. Click to the left to check out the most followed people on Instagram, or head to the right for 16 of the craziest Selena Gomez rumors.
Most celebrities seem to be stuck in their bubble of fame and fortune, surrounded only by other rich and famous people. But not all of them are like that. Some celebrities are actually doing their best to avoid all of the unwanted attention. They've even gone for partners that hold normal jobs away from the spotlight. It seems that love, affection, and romantic security are more than enough for these celebrities and their non-famous partners. Make sure to stick around until the end to hear about the Hollywood celebrity who met the love of his life at a Miami bar. Before we surprise you with some of these celebrity relationships, make sure to like this video, subscribe to The Riches, and join our notification squad. Now let's get into 10 celebs who are dating regular people.
We know what you're thinking. How in the world does someone who makes millions of dollars go broke? Well, we could probably live off $1 million for the rest of our lives. The celebs in this video needed more than their measly multi-millions. Bad financial decisions and debauchery led the majority of them to the poorhouse. Make sure to keep watching until the end to see why Kanye asked Mark Zuckerberg for $1 billion. Before some of these celebs declare bankruptcy, make sure to like this video, subscribe to The Richest, and join our notification squad. Now here you go, 6 famous people who lost all their money and went broke. Michael Jackson. When it comes to pop music, Michael Jackson was the king of it. Even today, nearly a decade after his untimely passing, his legacy is still going strong. With 13 Grammy Awards, 26 American Music Awards, and nearly 40 Guinness World Records, you would think that he left this world super rich. But rumor has it that Michael was drowning in debt when he passed away at the ripe age of 50 back in 2009. Michael lived a very lavish lifestyle.
We can all use a little bit of luxury in our lives. Maybe you splurge by getting extra guacamole on your burrito or by buying 2 flights.
What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So I was watching some good old YouTube last night, which, by the way, reminder, subscribe to PewDiePie. But eventually, if you watch YouTube long enough, you're going to come across one of these videos.
In our modern world, it's hard to remember that money isn't everything. After all, most fun things cost a lot of money. Worse still, social media gives us the impression that everyone else is living the high life, even if that isn't the case. But the truth is, there are a lot of fakers out there. This can result in some extremely funny situations where a star perpetuates that they have loads of money when they're actually quite broke. We're going to take a look now at...
There are very few things as fantastic as traveling to beautiful islands with sandy beaches, rolling hills, and sparkling oceans. But imagine if you could own a piece of that paradise and visit whenever you desired. For the rich and famous celebrities of the world, this dream is often reality. Private islands sell in the millions and sometimes billions. But to the wealthy, the privacy and peace they offer is worth the money. Today, we're going to take a look at 5 impressive celebrity islands and examine how celebrities manage to amass the fortune to buy their own slice of heaven. Mel Gibson. In 2005, Mel Gibson purchased one of the world's largest private islands for $15 million. It's crazy to imagine someone forked up that much cash so nonchalantly. But for Mel Gibson, who has an estimated net worth of $425 million, $15 million is basically pocket change. Mel Gibson rose to fame as an action hero in the 1980s after starring in wildly popular films like Lethal Weapon and Mad Max. Prior to that, he worked in Australia, getting several minor roles in low-budget films, and mainly working in theater. After landing roles in a few American films, Mel managed to truly embed himself into Hollywood stardom. During the 90s, he started directing, even winning the Best Director Oscar for Braveheart. However, even the best can be knocked off their pedestal. After some controversial statements in the early 2000s, Mel Gibson was blacklisted in Hollywood. It wasn't until his return to directing in 2016 with Hacksaw Ridge that many welcomed Mel Gibson back into the world of Hollywood entertainment. In the midst of this roller coaster of a career, Mel Gibson found his safe haven, Mago Island in Fiji. The 5,400-acre island has quite a bit of history, serving as both a cotton and sugar plantation in its not-so-distant history. Many native descendants have protested Mel Gibson's purchase of the island. However, it's clear those protests have fallen on deaf ears. The island itself is lush, with stunning forests and mountain peaks that lead to the clear blue water below. Surprisingly, Though this is Mel Gibson's private island, there are about 60 other individuals that live on it as caretakers. The island is also home to a modest ranch with several cows, horses, and goats. While one would imagine Mel Gibson would build a mansion there with his fortune, the building he actually resides in is far from a castle. The original colonial house is the Seals. And this is where Mr. Gibson resides when he needs to get away. Leonardo DiCaprio. In 2005, Leonardo DiCaprio purchased a private island off the coast of Belize for $1.75 million. But how exactly did this well-known actor reach the level of financial success to buy an island? And what exactly does he plan on doing with it? Surprisingly, Leonardo got his start doing commercials and playing a guest role on shows like Roseanne and Growing Pains. It wasn't until he landed his role in Titanic at the age of 23 that Leonardo skyrocketed to stardom. Titanic went on to become the highest-grossing film the world had ever seen, and Leonardo DiCaprio became a household name and an international heartthrob. From that point forward, roles with some of the best directors in the world, like James Cameron, Quentin Tarantino, and Alejandro Gonzalez Iñárritu, came easily to him. Aside from being an actor, Leonardo DiCaprio is a vocal environmental activist. In 1998, he formed the Leonardo DiCaprio Foundation, a non-profit organization focused on improving the environment and educating others on global warming and renewable energy. His foundation has raised over $70 million to help the environment, and he has been active in improving the environmental structure in 40 different countries. Leonardo DiCaprio has also donated millions to the Wildlife Conservation Society and served as a narrator and producer for several environmental documentaries. So, why did Leo buy an island in Belize? Well, the region this island in has long suffered from overfishing and deforestation. Leonardo bought the island with the intention of turning it into an eco-resort focused on sustainability and environmental restoration. Slated to open in 2020, the 104-acre resort will be entirely solar-powered, with 36 open-air bungalows and 36 villas, as well as several infinity pools. Worried about the water waste those pools will cause? Luckily, Leo's way ahead of you on that one. All the water on the island will be recycled rainwater. Aside from just being a resort, the island will also be home to a research center for global warming. As far as private island purchases go, this seems to be one of the better ones. Johnny Depp, yet another actor who sprung from teen idol to Oscar nominee. Johnny Depp is a household name that went on to buy his own private islands in the Bahamas called Little Halls Pond Cay for $3.6 million. Prior to buying the island, Johnny Depp got his start in Hollywood playing a teen heartthrob in the television series 21 Jump Street. In 1990, he starred in Tim Burton's film Edward Scissorhands, which began a beautiful friendship and lifelong collaboration that would change the trajectory of his entire career. From there, Johnny Depp landed more quirky roles and made a conscious decision to only play characters he felt connected to, rather than just picking films he thought would be a box office success. One of those roles he connected to was Captain Jack Sparrow in the iconic Pirates of the Caribbean series. While filming on location in the Bahamas, he happened to stumble upon Little Halls Pond Cay and decided then and there that he wanted to call it his own. Since purchasing the island in 2004, Johnny has made an effort to really establish it as his own personal paradise. The 45-acre tropical hideaway is coated in white sand beaches, lush vegetation, crystal clear water, and 360-degree views of the vast, beautiful ocean. Several solar-powered homes pepper the island, with golf carts serving as the primary mode of transportation between them. The 6 distinct beaches are each named after someone important in Johnny's life, including his former wife, 2 children, and his mentors, Marlon Brando and Hunter S. Thompson. But how does one get to this beautiful, remote island? Well, if you're Johnny Depp, you'd take your massive 156-foot private yacht to it. The yacht, named Veoliroa after his ex-wife and children, is coated in pirate memorabilia and even waves a Jolly Roger flag proudly above it. Nicolas Cage. Aside from stealing the Declaration of Independence, Nicolas Cage has a few other hobbies, one of which is buying as many properties as he can get his hands on. One of those properties cost approximately $3 million when it was purchased in 2004, with a net worth of an estimated $150 million at the time. Purchasing the island barely put a dent in Nicolas Cage's wallet, but it took him quite a while to amass such a fortune. Born the nephew of Francois Ford Coppola, Nick Cage had quite a reputation to live up to. With 100 films under his belt in his 37-year career, it's safe to say he's managed to make a name for himself. The beginning of his career was marked with dozens of supporting roles that spanned several different genres. It wasn't until Racing Arizona that Nick Cage got his first big starring role. From there, he gained some notoriety for his passionate acting and managed to get several starring roles in films like Adaptation, Ghost Rider, and of course, National Treasure. His rise to fame and consistent roles put him in the sweet position to be able to buy any property his heart desired. And when he saw a stunning island in the Exuma Island chain in the Bahamas, he just had to buy it. Leaf Cay, which is an incredible 45 acres, has an entire coastline of beaches on the northeast side. Located about 85 miles away from Nassau, the island is completely isolated and surrounded by miles of crystal clear waters and reefs. While it's not known what structures, if any, Nick Cage has on the island, one thing is for certain: it's a beautiful piece of paradise to own. Lenny Kravitz. Lenny Kravitz's private island brings us just a few miles away in the Bahamas, in the Eleuthera archipelago. Unlike most of the people on this list, Lenny Kravitz had a special connection that drew him to the island. Born to a mother who was native to the Bahamas, Lenny Kravitz visited every summer as a kid and has loved it his whole life, playing makeshift drums on pots and pans as early as 3 years old. His mother encouraged his love of music from a young age, and the world ought to be pretty thankful for that. He grew to be one of the most prolific musicians of all time, starting from nothing, then going on tour with Tom Petty, Bob Dylan, and Madonna. He produced several award-winning albums for Madonna, Vanessa Paradis, Aerosmith, and Mick Jagger. After working with such a huge span of incredible artists and selling several bestsellers of his own, Lenny Kravitz has amassed a net worth of $50 million. So, what would you do with that $50 million? Well, you'd buy a stunning island back in your mother's homeland. While one might think the island would be covered in buildings and mansions, the truth is actually the exact opposite. When he visits the island, Lenny Kravitz is said to sleep in a trailer and leave all his material possessions behind. The one thing he has on the island, however, is miles of beautiful sand beaches and a recording studio where he can get some of his best work completed. So there you have it. 5 of the most impressive celebrity private islands. What do you think of what these celebrities have done with their piece of paradise? If you had your own private island, what would you do with all that land? Let me know in the comment section below. Who knows? Maybe in the near future, some of us will be relaxing on a private island of our own. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And as always, I'm Mr. Luxury. Doodly-doo.
It's clear that the world's largest corporations hold the vast majority of planet Earth's wealth and resources. Their CEOs wield prodigious power and have immense wealth that the average person couldn't even imagine. But how exactly do these CEOs spend their money? NetJets and vertical loan. That means the next time you taste a blizzard or get your car insured, you have Warren Buffett to thank. But Buffett is equally renowned for his practice of philanthropy. He is committed to giving away 99% of his wealth over the course of his lifetime and is
Hi everyone. When you are world famous and literally rolling in money, of course you want to spend it well. And what could be a better investment than a luxury car? Sometimes looking at celebrities' cars, it seems that their owners are constantly competing for the title of coolest celebrity car in the world. So, whose cars are better, Bieber's or Smith's? Or maybe Lil Pump defeats them both? Well, we're going to show you their cars, and you can come up with your own conclusions. Let's get it on. Justin Bieber. You can think about Justin Bieber however you want, but you have to admit that he has great taste, at least when it comes to cool cars. The fleet of this Canadian pop singer includes a Ferrari 458 Italia, a tailor-made Audi R8, and a Porsche 911 Turbo. In addition, Justin is often noticed behind the wheel of a Lamborghini Aventador with a 6.5-litre 700 horsepower V12 engine. The cost of the car is around $350,000, but the singer clearly can afford it, and he can also afford to buy a brand new Range Rover and accidentally smash his beautiful, elegant Lamborghini with it. Yeah, just like that. You just got a bit confused while parking.
I parked it in front of the Lamborghini, but it wasn't in park, and it rolled into the back in the front of the Lamborghini. First day I got it. No way.
Well, seems that Justin isn't particularly upset because he won't have to walk by foot while his Lamborghini's in repair. Jaden Smith. Jaden Smith, son of the actor Will Smith, is only 20 years old, and he's already famous and has a cool car. In 2016, when Jaden was just 17, he got an exclusive electric Tesla Model X. If you're interested in modern cars, you probably know that Tesla was supposed to enter the market only at the end of 2016, which means that Jaden was one of the first owners, and the company confirms this. However, they didn't specify how much this guy paid them, but you can just imagine it. According to open sources, the price of the Tesla Model X ranges from $132,000 to $142,000, depending on the configuration. By the way, this same Tesla appeared in the video for the song Icon, performed by Jaden. Marshmello. This successful DJ in a marshmallow-shaped helmet profits from concerts and merchandising, and he makes really good money out of it, since he can afford to drive a BMW i8 worth over $150,000. The vehicle is an all-wheel drive two-door coupe. Its chassis and suspension are all made of aluminium, and the roof and doors of polycarbonate. The drag coefficient is 0.26. The dashboard of the BMW i8 is located at the central head-up display and windshield. This combination creates the impression of three-dimensional space. The most important information, such as the speed and the route, is projected at the windshield in the background, so that the driver doesn't have to even look at the dashboard. And that's very handy when you're wearing a huge helmet. The innovative hybrid drive has a capacity of 374 horsepower and 570 newton meters of torque. It takes only 4.4 seconds to accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, if he wants to jump start, of course. Arnold Schwarzenegger. The Terminator, the former California governor, one of the most famous bodybuilders in history. I'm the party pooper. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a fan of Hummer cars. He bought his first Hummer H1 back in 1992, when a civilian version of the SUV appeared on the market. The 2.9-ton vehicle is 2 meters wide and perfectly suited to the image of the famous actor. Schwarzenegger was so pleased with this car that soon his garage was filled with 7 other Hummers, worth about $800,000 in total. Later, however, the priorities of the actor changed.
No more complaining, no more Mr. Kimball have to go to the bathroom, nothing. There is no bathroom.
In 2003, he ran for governor of California, and one of the features of his electoral campaign was preservation of the environment. After winning the election, Schwarzenegger sold part of his Hummers, leaving only one khaki car and turning it into a hydrogen-powered vehicle, which cost him about $21,000. That's what it means to care about the environment. Neymar. Outside the football pitch, Brazilian star Neymar drives a variety of cars because the athlete definitely has plenty to choose from. Among his favourites is the Ferrari 458 Italia. According to Neymar, this car is the dream of every Brazilian child. However, if the player gets tired of his red Ferrari, he can always...
Have you ever wanted a Ferrari or a luxurious mansion, What about expensive watches or never-ending beach vacations? Well, if you make $87.5 million a year like Kevin Hart, you can have literally anything you want. This guy is the highest-paid comedian on the planet, and he isn't afraid to splash his cash. Hart's net worth soars into the hundreds of millions, believe it or not, rivaling that of Dwayne Johnson. How much exactly? Keep an eye on the tally in the corner as it grows, and you'll soon find out. We know that Kevin Hart is rich, like really rich. He's got money coming in from every direction, and he's not afraid to show off his toys. But where do all these fresh stacks of dollar bills actually come from? How did this human laugh factory make precisely 1,859 times the average American annual income in 2019? Well, first off, you've got those multi-million-dollar endorsement deals with massive retailers like Nike and H&M. In exchange for wearing a pair of Nike Kicks, they write him a big fat check. Then, of course, you've got the income of smash box office films like Night School, Get Hard, and that questionable new Jumanji series. Throw in his Comedy Central income and the revenue from sold-out local and international shows, and it's easy to see how his pockets got so deep. What does he have to do with it all? Well, a large chunk went towards that stunning Ferrari 488 Spider. He bought it back in 2018 for his 39th birthday, and like many of his other absurd purchases that we'll shortly see, he gloats about it on his Instagram account. From the words of Ferrari, this $300,000 supercar is the most aerodynamically efficient Ferrari Spider ever built. No wonder Hart wanted it in his collection. With a 3.8-liter V8 engine that produces 660 horsepower under the hood, this Italian stallion can churn out some serious speeds. You know what? Hart loves his Ferraris so much that he actually decided to buy two of them, one in red and one in black, just 'cause. The Ferraris aren't the only cars in his garage, though. In fact, he doesn't even have just one garage. His California home alone has two garages facing one another, but we'll get to that later. Exactly a year after he gifted himself the sleek Ferrari, Hart splurged on another birthday present. This time it was a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda, custom-made by a company called Speedcore. Similar cars sold by them have sold for well over $500,000. On top of that, he's been seen cruising around in a number of other eye-catching wheels, including this $150,000 Ford Mustang GT 500E, a $275,000 Mercedes-Benz SLS AMG Black, this Pontiac GTO, a GMC Yukon XL Denali, and the James Bond-style Aston Martin Vanquish we all dream of. Oh, and how can we forget this mean, downright enormous customized Ford Bronco? Kevin isn't exactly the tallest man on earth, but just because Kevin's on the shorter side doesn't mean that he shies away from his stature. He even had a laugh about how he jumps up into the Bronco and shared it online. Check it out. All up, he's easily spent a few million on his car collection. Remember those two garages we mentioned? Well, they were found in his stunning mansion in Tarzana, California, about 30 minutes away from the chaos of Hollywood. Situated within a luxurious gated community in the Mulholland Park area, ooh la la, which, for those who don't know, is a pretty fancy pants zip code. That property set Hart back a whopping $2 million when he bought it in 2020. Feel like a quick tour? We'll try not to get too jealous. As we walk into the Tarzana home's front door, we're greeted with two winding staircases in the front entryway. Across the 6,500 square feet, there are 7 bedrooms, 7 bathrooms, and a captivating floor-to-ceiling fireplace in the living room. One fireplace is enough, though, right? Well, apparently not, because the master bedroom has its own fireplace as well, plus a massive adjoining master bathroom and private balcony. As we step outside, we'll find a pool, spa, bar, and grill, perfect for entertaining all of his fat-walleted celebrity friends. Kevin actually sold it back in 2019, but did live there for about 7 years. That's not his only house. Over in Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania, he's got another one, although it's nowhere near as big as you'd think. He calls it his tiny house with big personality, and as you can see, it's really tiny. Ever wanted to sleep in a celebrity's home? Well, thanks to the partnership with Booking.com, anyone keen enough can rent Hart's pad for $175 a night. Despite fame and fortune, the comedian doesn't mind such a small abode. Forgetting his physical height for a moment, Kevin actually grew up very poor and lived in small spaces in his childhood. At one stage, even sleeping in the hallway of a one-bedroom apartment. So yeah, Kevin's childhood wasn't all glitz and glamour. He was raised by a single mother in a rough area in Philadelphia. So, once he received his first sizable paycheck as a 24-year-old, it's fair to say that he didn't exactly spend it too wisely. In the Hollywood star's own words, it was stupid plus stupid, which equals stupid. Any guesses what he spent it all on? Lots and lots and lots of throwback jerseys. Like so many that Kevin was too embarrassed to say how many he actually bought. In his weirdly large collection, Hart had the basketball jerseys of legends like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, as well as 70s basketball star Julius Erving. It wasn't just basketball, though. He signed checks in exchange for football player jerseys, too. Namely, the uniforms of 80s and 90s players like Reggie White and Randall Cunningham. Clearly, the sleeping in the hallway phase is well in the past. These days, Kevin can sleep anywhere he wants. Yep, even on a private jet, 37,000 feet in the air. With such a chaotic schedule and one of the most recognizable faces on the planet, it's no wonder that Hart often charters his own wings to get from A to B. If you were worth hundreds of millions, wouldn't you do the same, though? It's not exactly clear whether Kevin owns a personal plane or just charters them whenever he needs to get somewhere in a hurry. But it's not cheap either way. Depending on the jet, a new one costs $3 million to $90 million. Even if it's not under his name, he would have spent millions just in chartering fees, that's for sure. Not only does Kevin fly privately to cities where he's performing and vacationing, but he also jets off to big-time events like the basketball playoffs. Back in 2018, when Kevin was heading to Boston for Game 2 of the NBA Eastern Conference with his stylist and comedian friends, the plane popped a tire when landing, sending a huge scare throughout the cabin. He posted about it on Instagram, and his fans were super grateful that he walked out unscathed. All 52 million of them. Hands up, who here has heard of Heartbeat Productions? It's essentially Kevin's very own production company, which produces all kinds of film, TV, theatrical, and digital entertainment. Kevin worked hard to get this baby off the ground back in 2009 and has been funneling millions of dollars back into it so that his organization can keep growing. The company that helped him make the subtle shift from jokester and movie star to major Hollywood player now has over 40 staff people working around the clock on its various projects. I've already rambled on about how Kevin likes to go large on four-wheeled presents for himself, but it seems as though his generosity extends a little further than just his own birthday gifts. Get this, after wrapping his Irresponsible tour as a gesture of gratitude to his close-knit team, he decided to buy every single one of them a mint-condition old-school car. Wow! Among them, a 56 Beetle, a 1965 Mustang, and a 76 Stingray. As for the others, well, see for yourself. All up, they set him back close to $500,000. Even though our Philadelphia funny man travels all the time for work, sometimes hundreds of shows per year all over the world, he, like us, needs a break every once in a while. Over the years, we've seen Kevin splash huge amounts of cash on luxurious and relaxing vacations. He shared jealousy-inducing photos of tropical vacations in St. Lucia, where he's kicked back on private beaches alongside his wife Aniko, sipping on the finest champagne. Thrown a few trips to the snow in Aspen, a meet and greet with the elephants and monkeys in Thailand, a water sports extravaganza in the Bahamas, and the additional expenses to fly the family around in a private plane, and the bills start to stack up. Besides cars, holidays, and mansions, sometimes Kevin offloads his hard-earned cash on the little things as well. Check out this Rolex Platinum Daytona watch. That shiny wrist piece goes for $215,000 on its own. And that's just one of the 6 Rolexes in his collection of over 16 exclusive designer watches. His Richard Mille Bubba Watson is worth $825,000. His 18-karat rose gold Patek Philippe Nautilus sells for $135,000. And when we add in the value of the couple of Amador's Piguet watches, plus the rest of the collection, he spent close to $1 million just to know what time it is. Those uber expensive watches need some nice outfits to go with them, though, too, right? Like many rich and famous A-listers, Kevin Hart sports plenty of expensive designer clothes. He's actually a huge fan of Barney's New York t-shirts, although often simply sticking to solid black and white colors. But when he feels like it, he can definitely dress to the nines. We've seen Kevin don slimming tailored tuxedos at the Golden Globes, wear a red double-breasted Dior men's suit at the premiere of Night School, and best of all, even invest in creating outfits identical to The Rock, just for a laugh. When we factor in all his investments, savings, and under-the-radar purchases, Kevin Hart's total net worth reaches, drumroll please, $200 million. So, what's the first thing you'd buy if you had $200 million lying around? Let us know in the comments. And then take a peek at some of our other videos. Don't forget to subscribe. See you next time back here on The Richest.
Travis Scott caught his first break when he signed to Kanye West's Good Music in 2012. Since then, he has been a slow burn success. It wasn't until his 2018 album Astroworld that he scored a #1 single with the track Sicko Mode. But ever since then, he has been on a meteoric rise to fame and fortune. He has a net worth of roughly $23 million and isn't afraid to use his prodigious wealth. Today, we are exploring how Travis Scott spends his millions. Though their relationship has been rocky at times, it's clear that Travis Scott loves his partner, Kylie Jenner. For her birthday earlier this year, he took it upon himself to prove his love in the form of hundreds of fresh-cut roses. The 22-year-old is known for her love of lavish flower arrangements, and Scott took this to heart. He purchased exactly 443 roses to signify the exact time of their daughter Stormi's birth. The act cost him a total of $50,000. This is a sizable investment considering it wasn't even her birthday yet. In a video posted by Jenner on Instagram on Monday, 5 days ahead of her actual birthday, she walks through Scott's lavish flower display as their 1-year-old daughter Stormi plays with some of the petals in the background. "My house is covered in roses," add Travis Scott, "and it's not even my birthday yet. OMG," she captioned the post. The beauty mogul also shared the card that Scott gave her to accompany her new floral decor. "Happy birthday," it read. "We're just getting started. Love you." However, this isn't the first time Travis has gone all out for his girlfriend. First, he sent her 443 white roses following the birth of Stormi. Then, this Valentine's Day, he created a romantic room just for Kylie. He even reportedly spent over $10,000 on flowers for his daughter shortly after she was born. The Mercedes G650 Landaulet is a notorious car among motorheads. The luxury G-Wagon was limited to only 99 cars, meaning that collectors are willing to spend top dollar to get their hands on one. Travis Scott decided he couldn't live without one in 2018 and snapped it up for an unreal $1.6 million. Despite the fact that this car is worth more than the average single-family home, Scott purchased it without a second thought. As for the ride, it's worth every penny. The vehicle comes equipped with custom brown leather seats and a mini fridge. Travis purchased the ride from a well-known car collector, Obi Okeke. These luxury vehicles aren't offered in the United States, so it helps to have connections that can pull some strings. Plus, with deep pockets, anything is possible. The inside has some interesting features, including reclining seats that can almost lay flat. In addition, it features its own massage system. And of course, we can't forget about the silver champagne flutes. Also, this Maybach SUV features cup holders that can cool or heat your drink of choice. And of course, there was no special occasion for this purchase. Scott just decided to add another whip to the garage. As we already mentioned, LaFlame likes to dote on his wife, Kylie Jenner. For her 20th birthday, he decided to give her a car of a lifetime, a Ferrari LaFerrari. The car is estimated to be worth $1.4 million. There are only 210 LaFerraris in the entire world, according to LA Australia. The gift was announced on Jenner's hugely popular Instagram account. In the video, the flashy black car is shown off with Kylie calling it a push present. For those unfamiliar, a push present is a gift given to a mother from the father of her newborn child. The two recently celebrated the birth of their daughter, Stormi Webster. The black hybrid features gull-wing doors, a digital dashboard, and a V12 engine with 9,000 RPM and 663 pound-feet of torque. The LaFerrari is fast, but gas-guzzling. We doubt Jenner cares about the fuel efficiency, but the car only gets about 12 miles per gallon in the city. Only 500 LaFerraris have been made since the model debuted at Geneva in 2013, and Ferrari is notoriously selective about who can buy them. Celebrities are usually the only people who fit the bill. Approved buyers include Shark Tank's Robert Herjavec, Justin Bieber, Jamiroquai singer JK, and now Travis Scott. Because Travis Scott makes much less money than his partner Kylie Jenner, his real estate portfolio pales in comparison to her property empire. She already owns several homes, but they decided that they needed a massive mansion to raise their new family. Most recently, Jenner split the cost of a $14 million Beverly Hills home with Scott. The home is 9,680 square feet, with 7 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms, which includes the beds and baths in the guest house. A winding driveway leads up to the modern facade of the property at the end of a cul-de-sac. Inside, a free-flowing layout allows easy access between the backyard and the interior spaces of the home, which include spacious living areas, dining rooms, a chef's kitchen, and a massive master bedroom with views of both the city and the ocean. That's not to mention the gym, massage room, office, home theater, library, and wine cellar that can also be found in the house. The outdoor spaces are just as luxurious, with a beautiful backyard that features a long lap pool and plenty of space for lounging and dining outside on warm Los Angeles nights. Considering that Kylie's lip kit was her first big success in the cosmetics industry, it comes as no surprise that Travis Scott decided to get her a matching gift for her 22nd birthday, an over-the-top pink and white diamond necklace featuring her company's Dripping Lips logo. The Cuban link chain was designed by Scott's go-to jeweler, Eliante & Co. It not only features hundreds of pave diamonds all over, but pear-shaped stones literally dripping off the links. A custom design like this could easily cost upwards of $375,000, jewelry and style expert Lauren McCauley told E! News. Jenner continued to celebrate her birthday with various dinners and parties around Italy, and the family was staying on the $250 million yacht once owned by infamous Malaysian fugitive Joe Lau. It includes a Turkish bath, pool, beauty salon, movie theater, elevators, gym, and an outdoor bar. Travis Scott dotes on his daughter and wife, but he also has immense love for his parents. For Christmas last year, he opted to buy them both expensive cars. In an emotional clip shared to a family member's Instagram this week, Scott's parents are seen being understandably overwhelmed with Scott's gifts of a Porsche and a Range Rover, respectively. In the video, LaFlame presents his dad with keys to a brand new Porsche. Scott's dad is overcome with emotion after seeing his gift and begins to sob uncontrollably. "Oh my God, I can't," he says with tears in his eyes. Meanwhile, Scott's mom is overjoyed with her large gift, which was a brand new Range Rover. In the clip, his mother is sitting in the car with Stormy in her lap. "Look at my new car, Stormy," she tells her grandbaby, who gives a big smile to the camera. "On my mama," exclaims Scott. Rappers are notorious for spending millions of dollars on diamond-encrusted chains, and Travis Scott is no exception. This time it was Scott's turn to dote on himself. For Christmas 2018, after scoring his first #1 album and single, he purchased himself a $450,000 chain. Taking design cues from his Astro World tour set, the piece was created by prolific jeweler Eliante, states TMZ, and contains 150 carats of VS diamonds and over 1,000 grams of gold. The piece features a Ferris wheel, cactus, unicorn, rocket ship, and skull, all centered around the word Astro World in diamonds. For the chain, Scott opted for a train track design, as opposed to the classic link style to represent a roller coaster. Though it was ignored for Album of the Year, Astro World earned Grammy nods for Best Rap Album and Best Rap Performance for the Drake featuring Sicko Mode. It's clear that this album represents Scott rapping at the top of his ability, and led to him absolutely dominating the rap scene for almost a full year. West Coast Customs first came to prominence for its role in the classic show Pimp My Ride. Since then, it has become a cultural phenomenon, and it's the go-to shop for custom cars and unorthodox paint jobs. That's why Travis Scott sought them out to work their magic on his limited edition Lamborghini Huracan. The car sells for at least $260,000, and yet Scott was not content to leave good enough alone. He sent the car to West Coast Customs, and they returned it with a brand new paint job the color of milk chocolate. The design was polarizing for auto enthusiasts, some of whom appreciated the unorthodox design, and others who thought that it was reminiscent of a less than flattering bodily substance. But this is not the first Lambo in his garage. Kendall bought him a $280,000 Lamborghini for his 28th birthday. The billionaire was very keen to make her love for Scott known on Instagram, too. And alongside a montage of pictures of them and Stormy, she gushed about her feelings, even hinting she was ready for baby number 2. Watching you evolve into the partner, friend, son, and father you are today has been so fulfilling. My real-life bestie and hubby all wrapped into one. I love you, and I'm so proud of you. Happy birthday. We've already mentioned that Travis Scott has a very special place in his heart for his family. Back in 2016, Scott went ahead and bought his parents a new house. From a large arcade room, big kitchen, to the extensive outdoor pool area, one could certainly call this the ultimate Christmas gift, and both his folks were extremely happy and proud of their son. The house is absolutely gorgeous and features an outdoor pool and palm trees. The Houston-bred Scott said he hid the new residence from his unsuspecting family for 2 months while construction was completed. He shared the news on Twitter as well, writing, "Bought my family a crib for Christmas. Used to sleep on floors. Now we walk on marble." He live streamed a video of his folks receiving the home, and they were speechless. This is perhaps Travis Scott's most eccentric purchase. Earlier this year, he sprung to purchase an elaborate custom-built vending machine. The Astro World commemorative machine will be installed in Travis's office, in case he gets a case of the munchies. The new vending machine was designed by beverage company Exotic Pop. The 49-inch touchscreen machine will feature 14 patented parts and has the ability to project a 3D spinning hologram image of Scott's Astro World album cover. In addition to that, the machine offers soda from all over the world and serves up weedy cereal boxes. In case this inspires any fans to pick up a similar setup, these vending machines cost roughly $50,000. And earlier in the year, Scott revealed he has a deep love for snacks, and specifically breakfast cereal. In July, the 28-year-old rapper partnered with Reese's Puffs cereal to design his own custom box. The custom edition boxes, which retail for $50, sold within 30 seconds of their release. Cactus Jack Records held an art pop-up in Paris, where fans received a sneak peek of the collaboration before the sold-out release. But the rapper isn't greedy. He decided to give all the proceeds to Planned Parenthood.
Tonight.
Hey guys, so I'm always reading your comments, and one celeb you've requested a house tour on is none other than Chris Brown, and his mansion in Tarzan is pretty impressive. Chris's $4.3 million California estate is actually a smart house, but we'll look at it in just a little bit. From what I've seen, Chris's mansion definitely reflects him, from his insane car collection on display to the graffiti art walls. Chris also has 16 security cameras, which makes sense considering he's released his address to the public in the past. Anyone remember Chris's yard sale last year? Chris Brown is best known as a hip-hop artist, and he's also a songwriter, dancer, and even an actor. He's been named one of the best-selling music artists worldwide and sold over 100 million records. He also has plenty of awards under his
Los Angeles.
When you enroll at University of Phoenix, your tuition locks in at one affordable price until you graduate from your degree program. Guaranteed. Take a look on our website to see the savings for yourself, or give us a call, and we'll be happy to talk you through.
No one can rock a stylish attire and flaunt luxury fashion items, quite like Nigerian celebrities. Linda Ikeji and her love for Louis Vuitton bags. Peter Okoye dressed head to toe in Gucci. Tiwa Savage in Fendi. Class, style, and status all year long. But how much do beauty fashion pleasures cost our favorite celebs? The band surely has a place among Nigeria's most fashionable celebrities. The singer has a piece of advice about throwing an outfit together. He says the whole package should matter, not individual items like shoes or watches, especially if you can spend $50,000 for a Frank Muller wristwatch. Fans love Davido's Gucci lifestyle as much as they love his music, and Davido loves Louis Vuitton and
This year, the exhibition called Concours d'Elegance has a special meaning, says Beverly Hills Mayor Lily Blossy.
It's very special because we have over 175 cars that represent over 100 years of our city and over 100 years of cars.
Visitors crisscrossing the grounds of the luxurious Greystone mansion could view cars of the past, but also of a more recent era. The most interesting exhibit, older than the city itself, was the steam-powered Preston Style 10C, built in 1902. It's called
Usher is one of the most famous musicians in the world, but to his kids, he's just a dad. And after winning a legal battle with his ex-wife Tamika last year, the R&B superstar got primary custody of their 2 children. But Tamika's challenging that ruling, particularly after a scary accident at Usher's home. And now she's taking the heat from many of Usher's most devoted fans. I sat down with her for an exclusive interview to talk about everything from how they met to where it went wrong to why she thinks his fame has helped him win the legal battles over their children. It was an accident that had America holding its breath.
What's the emergency?
The 5-year-old son of pop star Usher nearly drowned in a pool, but what followed offered the public a rare glimpse into a celebrity custody battle. Now, Usher's ex-wife Tamika says she wants to set the record straight.
I feel like the kids are not getting proper care. And I think the reason for that is he's not there.
Talking for the first time exclusively to ABC News about her 5-year-old son's accident, the accusations, and revealing details of her effort to get more time with the children she shares with her superstar ex-husband. She says his massive success as an artist and TV personality often means he doesn't have time to care for their 2 young boys.
He travels, I would say, 85% of the time.
So how did things get so ugly?
Because he filed for full custody.
When they first got divorced, the former couple shared custody of the kids. But that all changed in 2011.
He filed to take my children away. And I don't know what his fans think, but am I not supposed to fight? Should I just sit there and say, okay, you can have them. Yeah, they're not that cute anyway. I don't like them that much. I mean, these are my babies.
It wasn't always like that. Tamika says she met Usher in 2001 when she was hired as a stylist for some of his music videos. That's some of her handiwork on his hit, You Don't Have to Call. They began dating in 2005. You were in love.
Oh, absolutely.
They married and had 2 children, but their relationship grew rocky. And by 2009, Usher released this song called Papers. Many, including Tamika, have thought the lyrics are loosely based on their breakup. And last week, their now 5-year-old son, Usher V, nearly drowned in his father's swimming pool when his hand got caught in the drain at the bottom of the pool. The boy's aunt dove in after him, as did the housekeeper, but they couldn't shake him free. 2 contractors managed to free the boy, but he wasn't breathing.
Oh, CPR on him. Yes, they're doing CPR on him now.
Tamika describes the heart-stopping moment she got the call.
You know, he doesn't call me regularly, so when I saw his number come up, I immediately jumped up because I figured he has the boys. I need to get this.
Usher was 1.5 miles away at a recording studio at the time and raced back to the house to see his son. Tamika says it was the superstar who called to tell her about the accident.
I was mad because I was like, how did this happen? Who was watching him? Why was my son underwater for, nearly 3 minutes? What happened here? What went wrong? Because you have all these staffers, and I deemed that an emergency.
But a judge disagreed. Usher had been granted primary custody at a prior hearing, and the court refused to change that, despite his ex-wife's arguments that he's rarely home because of his schedule recording and performing.
I never thought it was a fair ruling. I think that wealthy men and men that are of status are winning these cases. Like, they're winning them, but these are very busy men. That's why they're wealthy. That's why they're wealthy.
Do you think that he won the custody fight because he's rich and because he's Usher?
I think that played a huge role.
But there was more than just that working against Tamika in court. You were accused of threatening him, of hitting him, spitting at his girlfriend.
Definitely.
All true?
All true. All true.
Should they be relevant in connection with the custody case?
I don't think they should be relevant. I mean, we went through a divorce. I was very hurt during that process. No, I'm not bitter. No, I'm not mad that he's moved on. But of course, the initial time that I saw the girlfriend, she was brought to my house on my son's birthday. It was very uncomfortable. And it was meant to push buttons.
You took a psychological examination in connection with this, and a psychological report in this case determined that you have a moderately severe mental disorder.
Ooh. The psych evaluation was something that his side ordered and said that we both had to take it. The irony is that when it was time to read the results of the psych evaluation, his attorneys moved to have the cameras out. His attorneys moved to have the records sealed. I had narcissistic personality traits. That's what actually the diagnosis to. That's my baby. You know, things that are like precious moments, I'm just missing them.
Tamika says she tries to remain positive by immersing herself in Kyle's world, a foundation she started in memory of her late son. Do you believe he's a good father?
Absolutely. I think he really loves my children.
And this...
Who wouldn't be interested in the deep, dark secrets of the world's biggest stars? It's never been easier to keep track of our favorite celebs or find out things that they would have preferred to keep hidden forever. From bad behavior to violent relationships to full-fledged secret cults, these are the darkest celebrity secrets that got unearthed in 2018. On October 3rd, Ray Donovan actor Marion Pooch Hall was arrested and charged with driving while intoxicated. He was also charged with child endangerment. The actor was reportedly spotted weaving through traffic driving with his 2-year-old son in his lap. One witness claimed the child's hands were on the steering wheel. Police made contact with Hall after his car collided with a parked vehicle. The actor submitted to a field sobriety test and a breathalyzer test, both of which showed him to be intoxicated. According to TMZ, tests indicated that Hall was driving with a blood alcohol level more than 3 times the legal drinking limit. He pled not guilty to the charges. Jeffrey Tambor left the series Transparent in May 2018 following accusations of sexual harassment. Later that year, a New York Times interview with the actor flew off the rails when the discussion turned to his history of problematic on-set behavior. The topic was addressed in a New York Times roundtable discussion with the cast of Arrested Development. During the discussion, series star Jessica Walter opened up about Tambor's abusive behavior toward her on the set, which Tambor himself had revealed earlier that month in a Hollywood Reporter interview. While she said that the actor never did anything sexually inappropriate, she did say that, quote, verbally, yes, he harassed me. She recalled his reportedly volatile behavior through tears, saying, in like almost 60 years of working, I've never had anybody yell at me like that on a set. It's been rumored for years that Sex and the City co-stars Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall don't like each other. After a nasty interaction between the two in February, those reports were pretty much confirmed. It started when Parker offered her sympathies to Cattrall shortly after Cattrall's brother, Christopher, tragically passed away. Parker wrote to Cattrall on Instagram saying, quote, Dearest Kim, my love and condolences to you and yours, and Godspeed to your beloved brother. Cattrall promptly fired back with a message of her own, writing, I don't need your love or support at this tragic time, Sarah Jessica Parker. She then elaborated, adding, let me make this very clear, if I haven't already. You are not my family. You are not my friend. So I'm writing to tell you one last time to stop exploiting our tragedy in order to restore your nice girl persona. Parker did not immediately respond to the very public snub. After 352 episodes in the role of forensic scientist Abby Ciuto, actress Polly Perrette departed the cast of NCIS. At first, her exit looked like a straightforward goodbye, but then things got sinister. After leaving the show in May 2018, Perrette fired off some disturbing tweets suggesting a malicious element had informed her decision to depart. Writing on Twitter, she said, "There is a machine keeping me silent and feeding false stories about me. A very rich, very powerful publicity machine." Her post also implied some sort of accusation, ending mysteriously with the phrase, "He did it." Perrette did not elaborate on who he was. Instead, she followed the post up with more messages wondering if she was wrong for not, quote, spilling the beans. Later tweets implied that she had not felt safe at work and referred to bullying and multiple physical assaults. She has yet to fully spill the beans on what she meant. On April 20th, 2018, former Smallville star Allison Mack was arrested on federal charges that included sex trafficking, conspiracy, and forced labor. The indictment alleged that the actress was heavily involved in the leadership of a cult called NXIVM. The group is accused of exploiting recruits, both sexually and for their labor. The cult, reportedly co-founded in 1998 by a man named Keith Raniere, lured new members into the group under the pretense of female empowerment, and Mack was reportedly a key recruiter. In actuality, the organization involved blackmail, sexual slavery, and ritual acts of branding. If Mack is convicted, she faces a potential life sentence. On the evening of March 5th, 2018, police pulled up to the California home of Motley Crue drummer Tommy Lee in order to investigate a violent incident. The following afternoon, Lee tweeted some information about why the police had been called. According to Tommy's version of the events, "My fiance and I were in bed when my son busted into the room and assaulted me." According to People, the altercation left Tommy with a bloody lip, for which he received medical treatment at a hospital. On March 7th, 21-year-old Brandon Lee wrote a statement to People claiming that the unpleasant skirmish was related to what he called his father's alcoholism. He insisted that he, quote, worked tirelessly organizing an intervention, and it's incredibly upsetting that it never came to fruition. Apparently, Tommy wasn't very pleased about this version of events getting attention. Just hours after the People article was published, Tommy fired off a tweet to share his side of the story again. The rocker wrote that while he did enjoy a few drinks now and then as part of his retirement, quote, "I'm happier than I've been in my entire life." He also strongly contested Brandon's statement to People, writing, "You didn't arrange any intervention, just covering your ass." Meghan Markle is a figure under constant scrutiny. But of all the supposed secrets we learned about Markle in the year she married Harry, we have one clear favorite. The Daily Mail is 100% convinced that Markle was formerly the secret author of a naughty industry blog. That blog, called The Working Actress, was an anonymously written online diary that materialized in January 2010 before abruptly stopping in summer 2012. Its dishy posts chronicled the trials and travails of a hustling young actress as she navigated the cutthroat world of Hollywood. The blog included passages about the difficulties of making it, referring to some difficult night spent, quote, curled up in bed with a loaf of bread and some wine, a one-woman pity party. In February 2018, the Daily Mail claimed they could officially unmask the blog's author, thanks to tips from what they called, quote, impeccable sources in California. The report was later corroborated by author Andrew Morton in the biography Meghan, a Hollywood Princess, which included the working actress in a list of the now royals' former jobs. On February 25th, 2018, former Melrose Place star Heather Locklear was arrested in her California home on a suspicion of felony domestic violence. Authorities reportedly arrived at the house after being called in by Locklear's visiting brother. A spokesman for the Ventura County Sheriff's Office later said Locklear was arrested because of, quote, visible evidence that Locklear had battered her boyfriend. The actress allegedly proved to be difficult to deal with, fighting with the deputies as they attempted to arrest her. The actress, reportedly intoxicated, also allegedly told officers, "If you ever come back to my house, I will shoot you." Locklear was arrested and taken to a nearby hospital, after which she was ushered to the Ventura County Jail. According to People, the actress was released less than 12 hours later. Page 6 reported that Locklear was hospitalized later that day after suffering a suspected overdose. In September 2018, People reported that the actress was spending her 57th birthday in rehab. Prior to 2018, Thomas Ravenel wasn't exactly a stranger to scandal. According to People, the politician and former Southern Charm star was indicted in 2007 on federal cocaine distribution charges. Since then, the politician has gone to great lengths to cement a reputation as something of a playboy gone good, at times poking fun at his hard partying persona. In 2018, however, Ravenel's reputation took its most unsavory turn yet. It started in May with a dark revelation of Ravenel's violent past. Speaking in an interview with People, real estate agent Ashley Perkins claimed that Ravenel had sexually assaulted her mother, Debbie Holloway Perkins. Ashley said the two had met on Tinder and that he assaulted her on their very first date. As if that weren't already troubling enough, Ashley alleged that Ravenel went to great lengths to cover up the crime with a mountain of money. According to Ashley, Ravenel gave her mother a sum of $200,000 in return for her signature on a non-disclosure agreement. Through his attorney, Ravenel denied every one of the accusations. That wasn't the assault and battery in the second degree. The arrest came as the result of a police investigation into accusations of sexual assault from a former nanny. According to the woman, the incident occurred in January 2015. Speaking to People after Ravenel's arrest, the woman said she was not entirely pleased with the charges Ravenel ultimately received, telling the magazine, "I feel relief, but I'm not 100% satisfied, because he was charged with assault and battery and the crime extended beyond that." On August 19, 2018, the New York Times published a damning report about movie star Asia Argento, exposing a dark secret that she had spent years attempting to bury. The article reported that the actress, filmmaker, and Me Too activist had covertly agreed to pay actor Jimmy Bennett $380,000 after he privately accused her of sexual assault. Bennett claimed that Argento, whom he had known since he was 7 years old, had sex with him while he was still a minor. The two first met when Bennett was cast as the son of Argento's character in the 2004 film The Heart is Deceitful Above All Things, which was also directed by Argento. Later, when he was 17 and Argento was 37, Bennett says they had a sexual encounter at a California Ritz-Carlton. He claimed that on May 9, 2013, Argento supplied him with alcohol and sexually assaulted him. 2 days after the report first emerged, Argento released a statement denying the claims, insisting she was, quote, "deeply shocked and hurt by having read news that is absolutely false." She assured readers that she had never had a sexual relationship with Bennett, but that story soon fell apart. The next day, TMZ published leaked texts that appeared to contradict her statement, with Argento explicitly acknowledging the sexual encounter. One message read, quote, "I had sex with him. It felt weird. I didn't know he was a minor until the shakedown letter." She also attempted to turn the story around on Bennett, claiming instead that she had actually been the victim of an attack by him.
With that rock, MCA and me, Mike D. Hello, everyone. What we're gonna do right here is go back, way back into time.
The Beastie Boys.
Beastie Boys.
In the early 80s, everyone in our scene was in the band. We wanted to be rappers so bad, but we were mediocre at best. Now hit it. Just don't stop. Most rappers hold their rhymes in little pieces of paper, right? We went from being famous in a 14-block radius to being on tour with Madonna and Rick Rubin. The shows kept getting bigger and bigger. We morphed from making fun of party bros to actually becoming those dudes. We were burning out. I just didn't really recognize the person that I had become at that point. Yo, hold up. It's not over yet. Go. There's not that many times in your life when you realize you're in a new chapter.
The Beastie Boys are back after a 6-year absence.
We changed how we wanted to be as people and friends. We got inspired, and while experimenting, we found our voice. Woo! Really? High five? Yeah, it's coming back, Adam. It's coming back. Adam Yauch was the driving force. The one that not only gets themselves going and doing great things, but says we should all do this. Yauch was that type of friend. Yauch, Mike, and I have spent more time with each other than with our own families.
It's not like all of it was easy or highlight filled, but who gets to work every day with their two best friends?
I don't know.
They say you shouldn't meet your heroes, and when it comes to these A-listers, that couldn't be more true. But it's not their Tinseltown personalities that are too harsh to handle. It's their star-powered reputation for neglecting basic hygiene. Whether it's not regularly brushing their teeth, skipping the shower, or forgetting to flush the toilet, these are the stars who could use a little soap on a rope. Jessica Simpson. Designer and singer Jessica Simpson's big, bright smile may not last for long. The former reality starlet revealed to Ellen that she hardly ever brushes her teeth.
Because my teeth are so white, and I don't like them to feel too slippery, but I do use like Listerine and I do floss every day.
Still wondering how that works out for her?
But I don't brush them every day. I'll use a shirt or something. I know, it's gross. It's gross, but I always have fresh breath.
But it wasn't the first time Simpson announced her aversion to brushing. People reports that Simpson told a concert audience once, "Find me when I'm 60 and my teeth will probably be all out. But I literally have these strong, powerful teeth that don't need to be brushed." Cameron Diaz.
Does it smell like poo-poo?
She's often seen sporting pit stains on the red carpet, and actress Cameron Diaz told E! News, "I don't believe in antiperspirant. It's really bad for you. I haven't used it for almost 20 years. You're stinky because you use antiperspirant. It keeps all the stink in. Want to give her method a shot? She advises trimming your armpit hair so it doesn't absorb the scent." Megan Fox. Actress and brunette bombshell Megan Fox admitted to FHN that her poor memory makes for some awkward situations. She claims, "I forget to flush the toilet. Friends will tell me, 'Megan, you totally pinched a loaf in my toilet and didn't flush.'"
This is kind of amazing. I didn't expect to meet someone like this at the party, so.
Kristen Stewart. Back when she was dating Robert Pattinson, Kristen Stewart allegedly avoided bathing like it was her job. A source told the National Enquirer, "Rob's a laid-back guy, but he finds Kristen's grungy habits a turnoff. She doesn't wash her hair often, only brushes her teeth once a day, and rarely wears perfume." Curiously, the actress sang a slightly different tune to Vogue UK, saying, "Like, Rob loves to lick under my armpits. I don't get this obsession with washing the smell off."
Sounds weird to say that, but...
Brad Pitt. Inglourious Bastard star Eli Roth told People that his co-star Brad Pitt didn't have too much time to shower before showing up to set. But neither did Roth, who said Pitt gave him some tips, revealing, "After a scene, Brad had to get next to me for a close-up shot. And he said, 'Damn, you're right. Baby wipes, man, baby wipes. I got 6 kids. All you've got to do is just take them, a couple quick wipes under the pits. Man, I'm getting peed on all day. I don't have time to take a shower.'" Miley Cyrus. Actress, singer, and reformed worker Miley Cyrus makes a lot of questionable decisions, so her controversial hygiene may be the least outrageous part of her strategic hot mess persona. In 2016, Cyrus reportedly wore someone else's retainer, essentially opening herself up to someone else's germs. Medical experts speculated that her coated tongue may be another sign she's not taking care of her oral hygiene. Then, of course, there's the whole wrecking ball video.
And I think people really have enjoyed The Voice and getting to see me as an artist and someone that they can relate to again, rather than someone that slides down their own tongue.
Bradley Cooper. He has openly confessed that he might stink, but Bradley Cooper's taking steps to compensate for it, just maybe not the most obvious ones. The star admitted to Esquire, "I don't use deodorant really anymore. I do take a lot of showers, so maybe that helps. In the morning and then at night. And after I work out, I'll take a shower, so maybe 3 a day. Hey, at least he's doing something, right?" Shailene Woodley. She seems to have her heart in the right place, but Shailene Woodley may want to get her nose checked out if her own stories about her hygiene are true. The actress told Parade, "I basically have horsehair. It's so low maintenance. I only shampoo it like once a month. The oilier, the better."
You can find happiness in everything. Literally, it's about perspective. I get really happy when I can take a hot shower.
But it doesn't end there, a source told Star. Shailene rubs these essential oils all over her body, and they aren't very welcoming scents. Her smell is totally offensive, and it's gotten so bad that her stylist is having a hard time borrowing designer outfits for her to wear because she makes the gowns stink. Harry Styles.
There's a rumor on the internet that you have 4 nipples. Where can you just point out where they are?
Usual, and then just a little lower.
He may be handsome, but rumor has it musician Harry Styles doesn't smell attractive. His One Direction bandmate Louis Tomlinson once told Chicago's V6 Radio, "I just like it when Harry farts and then pretends it's not him for literally 10 minutes. The Daily Star reported that his ex, songstress Taylor Swift, also reportedly complained that Styles had the worst breath like coffee, cigarettes, and booze. Even customarily quiet bandmate Zayn Malik told Top of the Pops, "I don't think there's enough money on this earth that would make me sniff Harry's socks." Vanessa Paradis. Actor Johnny Depp and his ex, singer Vanessa Paradis, allegedly don't see the big deal about bathing, a source told Fox News. Johnny isn't big on personal cleanliness and Vanessa isn't much different. They found their perfect match in each other. It's hard to be around them. Their personal hygiene is not their priority. Too bad they broke up, right?
It's in your nature to reach for more. It's in our nature to make it cost less.
When you're rich and famous, you have unlimited resources for staying fresh and clean. However, the celebrities on this list do the exact opposite. Here are famous people with the dirtiest habits, part 2. Jennifer Aniston. Jennifer Aniston is one of the loveliest actresses in Hollywood who appears to bathe on a regular basis. However, the problem isn't how often she washes her body, but instead, the problem lies in her breath. Numerous Hollywood actors like Jason Bateman and Alec Baldwin have come forward and said that Aniston has awful breath that smells like old coffee, which indicates that she doesn't brush her teeth as often as she should. Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio looks like he should be smelling like the most expensive cologne in the world. But in reality, he doesn't smell that great, according to ex-girlfriend Erin Heatherton. Because Leo is so dedicated to his cause of living green and preserving the environment's natural resources, he only bathes twice a week in an effort to conserve water, and he doesn't wear any sort of deodorant or antiperspirant. Leo also recycles on a regular basis, but he often misses pickup days, which results in his place smelling like rotten garbage. Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts is America's sweetheart and has had one of the most successful careers in Hollywood. She is also known for her activism and using her fame and fortune to fight against the wrongs in this world, which is pretty admirable. However, according to a former bodyguard, in her venture to stay green and save water, Roberts doesn't shower all that often. Roberts has also stated that she doesn't use deodorant, nor does she shave. This has apparently resulted in her smelling like a hippie, according to the bodyguard. Zac Efron. Word on the streets say that Zac Efron absolutely loathes bathing and opts to use baby wipes instead. But given the fact that Zac is one of the most active celebrities in the industry, from working out to playing basketball, it's guaranteed that he does his fair share of sweating. Frankly, baby wipes don't do the work that plain old soap and water can achieve. Britney Spears. If Britney Spears' hygiene was in question during her mental breakdown, that would have been understandable. But the pop singer is reported to have some pretty nasty habits that were revealed in a lawsuit by former bodyguard Fernando Flores for sexual harassment. In the suit, Flores claimed that Spears would pick her nose, fart in front of people, didn't brush her teeth or hair, didn't shower for long periods of time, and didn't wear deodorant. Spears ended up settling on the lawsuit, which makes us wonder how much of the hygiene claims were true. Robert Pattinson. There is no rumor or question that Robert Pattinson has terrible hygiene habits, and he has even confessed them in an interview with Extra. He doesn't see the point of washing his hair and has even gone as long as 6 weeks of not touching his shampoo. Not only does he not wash his hair, but he also doesn't clean his apartment because he doesn't see the point. According to some workers in the film industry, while Rob is nice, he's hard to work with because he smells so bad. Anderson Cooper. Anderson Cooper is one of the most well-known television personalities, but he also has some dirty laundry to air. In 2012, on an episode of the show Anderson Live, he admitted to What Not to Wear star Stacey London that he wears the same pair of jeans every day and only washes them about 4 times a year. Then, when Anderson does wash his jeans, he wears them in the shower and covers them with soap and lets them air dry afterward. Needless to say, London was horrified and told Anderson to wash his jeans in cold water with no soap and let them air dry and to wash them more often. Matthew McConaughey. In 2009, Matthew McConaughey revealed to People magazine that he hasn't worn deodorant or cologne in 20 years, nor does he plan to. Rumor has it that back in 2008, while filming Fool's Gold, co-star Kate Hudson was absolutely disgusted by McConaughey's hygiene habit and begged him to wear deodorant for their scenes. She even offered up her Salt Rock, which is a natural deodorant, asking, "Would you please put this on?" But the actor graciously declined, stating that he didn't want to smell like anything else but himself. All right. Johnny Depp. Perhaps Johnny Depp performed the role of Jack Sparrow so well because he had something in common with his character. Depp reportedly has some of the worst hygiene habits in the industry and will sometimes go weeks without bathing or changing his clothes. When he was married to Vanessa Paradis, she apparently shared the same habits, which makes sense why the relationship lasted for so long. Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz's hygiene has been in a constant state of question due to the fact that she is often photographed on the red carpet with pit stains. According to Diaz, she also has not worn deodorant or antiperspirant for 20 years, stating that it's unnatural for your body. As an alternate, she recommended trimming armpit hair so the stink isn't sticking around. Notice the word trimming and not shaving. Diaz also believes that armpit hair and pubic hair shouldn't be shaved and left alone in general. Along with that, she has been known to wear the same outfit for days on end without washing it, and then never wearing it again. So, what do you think about these celebrities and their dirty habits? Leave us a comment down below and let us know what you thought of this video. Please give us a thumbs up before you go, and don't forget to subscribe to The Riches for more awesome, fun videos daily. Thanks for watching. We have all heard rags to riches stories such as Cinderella in our lives, but many believe that those are just fairy tales. However, sometimes those stories do come true, proving that anyone can become a star, even when they are at their lowest. Here are 10 famous people who were homeless. Be sure to stick around for our quiz as well. You never know what you'll find out about your favorite celebrities. It's nearly time to put on our glass slippers. If you haven't clicked that subscribe button before, be sure to give it a click now. That way, you'll always be on top of the latest content from The Riches. Jewel. American singer and songwriter Jewel Kilcher, more commonly known as simply Jewel, has sold over 30 million albums worldwide. She is best known for her soulful ballads, but has also dabbled in other genres as well. Raised in Homer, Alaska, Jewel and her father would earn a living by singing in bars and taverns. As she grew up, she learned to yodel and play guitar. When she was 15 years old, she moved out of her father's house. She lived in an unheated cabin for a time, horseback riding or hitchhiking into work each day. By 1993, Jewel decided to move down south. She began writing her own songs and performing them in coffee houses. It wasn't easy, however. While living in Southern California, she turned down the advances of her employer and didn't get her paycheck. She was turned out of her apartment and was forced to live out of her car. To make ends meet, she drove around the country singing in cafes and working as a barista. Jewel was discovered by Inga Weinstein in August 1993 after another singer told her about a girl that sang in a local coffee shop. Curious, she drove out with a representative from Atlantic Records. After the show, they called the head of the company and asked him to pay for the girl's demo. Jewel's debut album, Pieces of You, was released in 1995. Steve Jobs. As co-founder and CEO of Apple Inc., the late Steve Jobs was a household name. The technology he created changed millions of lives. Before he passed in October 2011, his net worth was $10.2 billion. Though many didn't realize it, Jobs was adopted. His parents were a young, unwed Syrian couple. His mother came to San Francisco to give birth, and he was adopted by Paul and Clara Jobs. They struggled at first, as Jobs was a difficult child. As he grew, he became fascinated by his adoptive father's mechanical work, which gave him an outlet. By the time he was 10 years old, he had developed a love of electronics. He had also befriended many of the engineers in their neighborhood, though he had difficulty with children his own age. Traditional schooling bored him, but he was hungry for knowledge at the same time. By 1972, Jobs was headed off to Reed College in Portland, Oregon. However, the college was very expensive and Jobs' parents had a difficult time affording it. They used their life savings to get him into the best school that they could. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough for a dorm room. In a 2005 commencement speech for Stanford University, Jobs admitted that during his time at Reed College, he was homeless and slept on the floor of a friend's dorm room. He would return empty Coca-Cola bottles for money to buy food and got free weekly meals from the local Hare Krishna temple. James Franco. Despite growing up in California, James Franco was more of a math whiz type of kid than an actor. Encouraged by his mother, Franco began acting in high school plays. He had a share of problems growing up, such as small run-ins with the police for underage drinking, but never anything too serious. By his late teens, Franco cleaned up his act and began to pursue a career. He worked nights at McDonald's, practicing different accents on the customers while paying for acting lessons. His first big break came in 1999 when he was cast in a leading role on NBC's Freaks and Geeks. Though he loved his television role, he wanted to try bigger things. He began taking his roles more seriously, really trying to get into the headspace of his characters. Franco would completely immerse himself in his roles. When he was cast as the lead in a 2001 biographical film about James Dean, he began smoking 2 packs of cigarettes a day and bleached his dark hair blonde. He continued this practice in other roles as well. In 2002, Franco was seen panhandling and living on the streets. Despite appearances, though, Franco was never really homeless. He was once again immersing himself in a different mindset to better understand a character. In this case, a homeless addict for his part in City by the Sea. Franco lived on the streets for several days, conversing with the people he met there. Chris Pratt. It's hard to imagine that someone like Chris Pratt could ever have been anything but a star. After all, isn't he Star-Lord? Well, before Pratt took on his role as Andy in Parks and Recreation, he was homeless. He grew up in Lake Stevens, Washington, though he was born in Virginia, Minnesota. From the time he was a young boy, Pratt wanted to be famous. When he was in high school, he remembered his wrestling coach asking him what he wanted to be when he grew up. This was his answer: famous. However, he had no idea how he would accomplish it. After dropping out of community college, he began working as a discount ticket salesman and daytime dancer. However, it wasn't enough. While living in Maui, Hawaii, Pratt became homeless. Thankfully, he still had his van, complete with a depiction of Shaggy and Scooby-Doo painted on the side. His job at the time only paid enough to cover his gas and food. When he was 19 years old, he was working at the Bubba Gum Shrimp Company restaurant in Maui when actress Rae Dawn Chong walked in. Pratt was waiting tables when Chong decided he'd be perfect for a role in her short horror film, Cursed, Part 3. From there, his luck turned around. Now he has a net worth of $30 million. Jennifer Lopez. We were certainly fooled by the rocks that she got. Despite referring to herself as Jenny from the Block in her iconic song, her net worth is $320 million. Jennifer Lopez, otherwise known as J-Lo, was born in the Bronx. As a child, her family had little money, but still wanted the best for their 3 daughters. Lopez and her sisters were enrolled in singing and dancing lessons. Her parents said it was to keep them out of trouble and would also teach them good work ethic. While in her final year at Preston High School, Lopez learned about a film that was casting teenage girls for small parts. She auditioned for My Little Girl in 1986 and received a role. It was in that moment that Lopez realized acting was her dream. She wanted her parents to be happy, so she enrolled in Baruch College. After 1 semester, she dropped out and told her parents about her dream. They insisted that no Latinos do that and that it was a bad idea. The disagreement caused Lopez to leave the family home when she was 18 years old. She had nowhere to go and ended up homeless. She spent many nights sleeping on a cot in dance studios, but she didn't give up. Within a year, Lopez had become a fly-girl dancer and danced her way into the spotlight. It's incredible, isn't it, how far they've come? Here's our quiz question for you. Do you know which Hollywood star has the highest net worth? Stay tuned to find out. Sylvester Stallone. Just about everyone can identify Sylvester Stallone nowadays, either by his distinctive voice or iconic appearance. However, in the early 1970s, Stallone was living on the streets. He'd been evicted from his apartment and was forced to find work fast. In order to make ends meet, Stallone appeared in an off-Broadway stage play and several small film roles throughout the early 70s. He even appeared in a softcore film for which he was paid $200. However, it still wasn't enough. In desperate need of cash, Stallone sold his dog for $50, or so the story goes. Don't worry, he later bought him back. Following this heartbreaking decision, Stallone began writing. It took him nearly 4 days to complete, but at the end of it, he'd come up with the idea for Rocky, the story of a down-and-out boxer. It still wasn't easy, however. Stallone attempted to sell the script to several studios, but they all turned him down when he insisted on playing the lead himself. Eventually, Irwin Winkler and Robert Chardoff took an interest in the script, but weren't keen on Stallone as the lead. Stallone was unwilling to negotiate, and the three eventually came to an agreement. They certainly didn't expect the film to become so successful. Rocky was nominated for multiple awards, including Best Actor and Best Original Screenplay. Chris Gardner. Before he became a multi-millionaire, Chris Gardner had a hard life. In 1980, Gardner began an affair with a young dental student. She became pregnant, so he left his wife and moved in with her. At first, everything was fine, but he wanted more. It was then that he met a stockbroker while on a sales call. He decided to dedicate his life to the world of finance following a conversation with the man. He bought a Ferrari, quit his job, and began his training. That's when it all went downhill. Gardner showed up ready to work, only to find out that his hiring manager had been fired, leaving him without a job. To make matters worse, he owed nearly $1,200 in parking tickets, and things with his girlfriend were falling apart. She left with his son after Gardner spent 10 days in jail for the unpaid tickets. After finding a new job, he was able to get his son back, but the
What the hell on earth? All right. Lincoln. Hey, Jackie. Just give me.
What is love? Two hearts, one soul, a kiss, a hug, a laugh. It's passion, it's freedom, it's mystery, it's the journey and the destination. It's vows made and promises kept. It's a feeling, a need, no rules. All included, all unlimited. Feed your hunger, quench your thirst, live your dreams. Fulfilled, indulged, reborn. What is love? Love is all you need. Call 1-800-SANDALS.